Hey guys, Sal here, sitting down with our sales coach, Aaron Lotman. How are you, Aaron?
Fantastic. How are you, Sal?
Love it, man. I'm good, man. I'm good. Getting over this cold, or my body's fighting something right now, so I'm a little under the weather, but we'll make it work. We'll make it work. So, today's call, we're going to be talking about holiday specials, and we'll kind of zoom out a little bit towards the end on how to really capitalize during the holiday season when it comes to coatings, tint, PPF, the big ticket services like that. So, I guess first thing I want to talk about is why should somebody, Aaron, in your opinion, why should somebody run a holiday special even though it's wintertime, it's cold outside? Why would somebody need to get their car coated in December?
Yeah, if you're getting your car coated in December, you might be able to save a little bit of money if you're offering a discount. People
Yes.
always want to do it when it's the off season for their race cars, for their supercars. We have a lot of clients that come in during the wintertime because like we're still busy during the winter, but we're not as busy as the springtime. So that means that when a client comes in, they're not going to like miss their car because they can't be without it for a week or whatever the case may be. But it winter specials are great because it brings in some flow of clientele during the winter time.
Yes. Now let's talk about those specific specials. Aaron, I think you've kind of tried it all when it comes to holiday specials and just specials more
Oh
broadly.
yeah.
I guess the first thing that I want to mention is you want to start by just offering a holiday special and you want to make it a no-brainer. So when it comes to creating a good special, Aaron, what have you tried in the past that's worked really well for you?
Yeah, so what's really worked well for us is a dollar amount off. We've tried the percentage off, we tried the free things, but if there's no value on what they're getting for free, it's to them it's like, oh well, I could have gotten it free anyways. So
Right.
excuse me, I think that it's really beneficial to do like a dollar off because they're like it's a tangible amount of money that they can actually save as opposed to, well, if I don't know how much the value is and I don't know, is it XYZ, you know $2,000, well, 10% of $2,000 is $200, or is it a $200 off? Well, I'd rather save $200 on 2,000 than 10%. $200 sounds like a lot more than 10%.
Yeah. And in the sales process, you can work that dollar amount in there a lot easier than a percentage off, right? Because with the percentage off, then you have to pull out the calculator. You have to see exactly what the percentage, if you're not using round numbers, right? So dollar amount is kind of what we're also seeing across the board. Clients in Canada, the US, and Australia, they're mostly seeing a lot of success with dollar amount off just because it's super clear cut when it comes to explaining like the discount, right? What the special is. But we've also seen success with just bundles or add-ons or
Yep. Bundles,
we ha-
add-ons, yeah.
we usually try to steer clients away from percentage off, but bundles especially we've seen a lot of success with both in our advertising and with our text blasts. So Aaron, like, I think one other thing that is really worth noting is if you've advertised or you've gotten a lot of leads organically from your website or a Google ad, you have this big list of leads, right? If you're collecting their emails, you have this big list of leads that you've collected from, the peak season previously or years prior. You have this list of customers, of potential customers that you should be communicating with on a regular basis. So,
But
Aaron,
yeah, without a doubt. I mean, you have all these leads that are just chilling there. It's like
exactly.
why not actually use them? Why not reach out to them? Yeah, it makes
Yeah,
perfect sense. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, and in the busy season, like you're just trying to get cars out there, right? You have so much inflow coming in that like getting your next customer isn't a big worry, right? But then when the slow season comes, it's like, okay, we have a big list of either existing customers or leads. How can we re-engage them? So, Aaron, what is your preferred way to re-engage those previous leads?
I love text blasts. I love email blasts. I love this one saying. We send a text blast out every, I think it's 10 days now, to the previous 10 days of leads that have not replied. And we say this, and this is a good way to re engage them, whether you're re engaging them for the holiday season or if it's just any time. But we always, for the holiday season, I would say happy holidays and then their name. I tried reaching you a few times, but I haven't heard back. Dot, dot, dot. And then do another line, another line. And then NEPQ says, where should we go from here?
Nice.
And you're going to see your response rate just like a rocket. It's so crazy, but people get emotional when they hear, where should we go from here?
Yes.
And you might get some no's, and that's okay, but you're gonna you're going to re-engage with them. That's for sure.
Yeah, and the cool thing about that wording is it's very open-ended. It puts the ball in their court to say, "Hey, now's not the best time. I'm no longer interested." So it gives them ways to kind of opt out in a way without, coming off the wrong way. So that's a really good one. So I assume this is something that's in the automations that you've set up, Aaron, where,
Yep.
like you said, goes to
Yep.
the
Smart
previous 10
lists and
days.
stuff. That's
Nice.
exactly right. Smart lists on
Okay.
Go High Level. And we have some other automations that we run as well with this particular saying.
Nice. What kind of responses do you tend to see with that kind of wording?
Well over 50% response rate. It's freaking crazy.
Nice. And 50%, by the way, guys, is amazing, especially leads coming in from an ad. It's,
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, every
yes.
time 10 people call us at the bare minimum, we're getting 5 to respond back to us just from this one text, which is
Right.
awesome.
Yes. And then another thing, so that's really good for follow ups, right? 50% response rate on a dead lead, essentially, right? Somebody who didn't reply to the first batch of, automations. That's amazing. The other thing that I want to ask you, Aaron, is in years prior, or if you're open to sharing what you're currently doing, when it comes to sending out a text blast to your entire list, what or how does the wording change when it's getting blasted to everybody?
Yeah, I mean the wording's not going to change too much. We definitely want to add a promotion in for them to at least click
Yes.
because we want them to click and we want them to reply back. So what could we do, excuse me, to get them to reply back? The wordings that we're doing are they're very structured towards getting responses because if you can just engage with somebody and they can say yes to your intro, then they're going to respond. I mean, you
Yes.
can you can keep engaging them. Any type of offer is going to work. I wouldn't get really too hung up on the offer, to be honest, right? So like,
Yeah.
you're going to have to, some people prefer a percentage, some people prefer a dollar amount, some people prefer freebies. So you're going to capture as you do, excuse me, as you do different offers, you're going to capture different people.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing to note.
Yeah, and one thing that I would recommend that we see across our client base is listen to what the leads that you're talking with say, right? If they ask primarily about dollar amounts, now you know what kind of offer to roll with. If they ask for percentages or bundles, now you kind of have a better idea of what kind of offer to go towards. So just keep that in mind with the previous conversations that you've had with leads.
Yeah. One part of holiday specials that I kind of want to touch on is to not give too much of a discount off to where if someone actually takes you up on that offer that you're going to
Yeah.
regret it.
Yes.
Because I know
1000%.
that I know that there's a lot of people that they actually like they'll put an offer of like 30% off and then now you come to 30% and it's like, well, there's no more profit and a loss in money. It's
Right.
like, well, I should have taken it on in the first place.
Exactly. Yeah. So one thing when it comes to discounts that we've talked about in the past is you want to make sure you have at least three levels of padding, right? So just to use round numbers, let's say you're offering a ceramic coating for $1,000, right? Retail, like if somebody sees your website, you want to list that for about 500, and then you want to have some wiggle room to go down to about, I would say, between 12 to $1,300, right? So you could offer $200 off, and you're still well within your profit margins there.
You meant on the website 1500.
1,500, yes. Like retail,
Okay.
this is what it
Yeah,
normally
so
lists at.
yeah, so we have retail pricing as well. Like retail pricing on the coatings are
Yeah,
$3,500 for like paint, trim, wheels, windows, but we can go down to 3,000 if need be. We don't want to because we lose on profitability, but we can
right.
if that's what's necessary.
Yes.
We will go down to that 3,000 mark. Same thing if you're just doing the paint only.
Yeah. And the reason why that's such an effective tactic, guys, is it gives you leverage in the sales process, right? If you
Always.
don't have that leverage, if you're actually having a discount from your like rock bottom price, that's going to put you in the negative, right? Because not only are you going to be losing out on money, but time, product, right? So it's like all these things can really stack up, especially if it's such a good deal that a lot of people get on board to where it's like kind of handicapping you. You're better off not doing the deal than you are with the deal, right? So just keep that in mind. And I would say that that kind of approach is super effective, even when you're advertising and if you're not, because it's just basic human psychology, right? People want to feel like they're getting a good deal. They just want that feeling, right? Whether or not they're getting a good deal is kind of, really depends on your pricing, your market, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, every market is always going to be different. Always.
Yes. But bottom line is you want to have that leverage to just have that conversation with that person, right? So Aaron, if I quote you $1,500 for a coating package and you're like, that's kind of out of my budget, now you have something to kind of go on with that conversation.
Right. Like, okay, John, well, what is in your budget?
Yes.
Well, I don't
Yes.
know. And then they're like, I don't want to offend you. And but what happens if they say $1,300? Okay, deal, done.
Done.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
easy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, what's in your budget? You always want to lead with leave the conversation with a follow up question to make sure they're always thinking about you, always
Exactly.
thinking about you.
Yeah, and one of the biggest mistake that Aaron and I see across the board is you don't want to just give a price and just end the conversation there, right? That's like
Always
the worst
no.
thing that you could do because the person on the other end, they have a price in mind. Your price might be a little bit higher than that. You guys want to meet somewhere in the middle, right? Where it's not, handicapping you, but they're still getting a good deal. You're still able to work with them, and that's how deals are made in a
Always
nutshell.
right. The biggest thing to note with that and leverage is you want to work with them because $200 off is not going to kill you, but maybe that $200 off is going to come back when they refer a person, refer two
Yeah,
people, refer three people, refer four. You don't know. You never know.
exactly.
I mean, yeah, I am never shy to help a client out if their particular budget, but also they need to find a value in it. They need to find that value in what you're selling to them. And if they don't find the value at all, you're selling them $1,500 and they want $500 worth of work. It's never going to line up. You say, have a great rest of your day. But
Yes.
these are all things that you wouldn't even be able to do if you didn't grab them from like a holiday offer or a holiday special or
Yeah,
getting them in for the winter time. Yeah. And quite frankly, if you lose $200 or $300 on a job because you accepted the job in the wintertime, at least it's helping to pay for some of your bills.
right.
You know,
You're
you
getting
don't need to
cash
make
flow
$1
in.
million profit, but if you can just break even, November, December, January, February, March, you're fine,
Right. And those are worst case scenarios, right? Obviously, you want to make sure that your pricing is well within reason. You want to make sure you have the padding there to make profit, right? Just across the board. And another reason why special offers are so effective is because it gives you a good reason to follow up with that lead, right? So, Aaron, if you're the customer and I'm giving you a price or a quote of $1,500 for whatever package we're selling, I could go to you and say, hey, this offer is ending December 31st, right? It's the beginning of December as we're recording this, but now you give them time to think about it. You're not pushing them too much, but now you have a good reason to follow up with them. Is, hey,
Right,
John,
that's
you
exactly
inquired
right.
about our holiday special. I just want to follow up, make sure you're able to take advantage before it expires.
Yeah, and I like to say I have a very busy calendar, but I found the time to reach out. Do you have any further questions? Where should we go from here? Did
Yeah,
you feel as though this is fair? Or whatever sales lingo and word track you use.
yeah. Because, like, again, the worst thing you want to do is just give somebody a price and tell them goodbye, right? Because they're going to take that price, they're going to shop it around to your competitors,
And they're probably
especially
going to
if
go
you're
to
not,
somebody else.
yeah, especially if you're not really building value, right? Because that's the other part that Aaron mentioned a little bit ago is you want to also get them to see the value in that, right? But you don't give them the chance to see that value if you're just giving them a number and then saying goodbye.
Yeah, yeah, that's not how you run a sales call at all. You gotta find the you gotta put the value in there. You gotta lead off of their dominant buying motive, their DBM, and figure out what
Exactly.
exactly they need to get. But most of the time, and this is kind of a common thing in around the holidays, is people are looking for a deal. They're looking to shop around.
Exactly. Yes.
So to give them that deal is going to make them want to come to you, come to your shop. Something to note on that actually, Sal, is when you don't offer a deal during the holidays, sometimes people think you're like just trying to grab all the money. And so when you do offer a deal, there's more of the pool of
Right.
candidates of qualified clients in your area, target market, whatever, to
Yeah.
actually want your services.
Exactly. So just to recap real quick, first thing, you want to have a holiday special to begin with, right? Ideally dollar amount. You don't want to make it too ridiculous because then it kind of enters the realm of not being believable, right? Usually I would say a safe kind of dollar amount off, depending on the package, would be $100 to $300 off
Yeah, that's
max.
super fair. Yeah.
Super fair. That shouldn't eat into your profit margins. But now you can go and advertise this special offer, right? Get $300 off our ceramic coating packages, right?
Exactly. It's so much more attractive, especially for the people that you're kind of like retargeting. Well, if they told me 1,500 bucks, I can get 300 bucks off. I'll do it for 12, and now you just got a free client because it you already did the legwork on it. You know.
Right. Yeah. So that's the paid method, right? But then if you have a big list of customers, existing customers or a big list of leads, now you have a good way to re-engage them just by sending out a text blast, right?
Yeah, you don't really know how many people you're not engaging with until you send that message out. And
Yes.
there's a bunch of people that are going to reply stop, a bunch of people that are going to reply I'm too far away, I'm not interested, blah 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 blah. But then if you get one or two people out of it for, $3,000, $4,000, I mean, that's golden. That's just pure gold.
That is pure gold. Yeah, exactly.
I would take that all day.
Yeah, and I think just the fact that you're able to re-engage with those leads, it's a great way to just just open up that conversation with them, right? Because this might be a lead that you spoke with in April, springtime, summertime, and they gave you the classic. Let me think about it, right?
Oh yeah, the
And
classic.
or let me get back to you, or let me talk to the wife, right? So chances are they're not going to follow up with you. It's just a smoky mirror. But now you have a way to re-engage them without it being too awkward or being too weird, where you can just say, hey John, we're running this promotion, take advantage, just reply yes if you're interested, right? So
Yeah, and it's not always that you're extremely like, not that you're being pushy or anything of that nature, but when you go to them with a holiday special and it's like, hey, wondering, are you still interested or whatever, it shows that you care and you have tenacity.
yes, yeah,
It
plus
shows
they're in
that
a
you
buying
want it.
mood. Yeah, they're already spending money, right? So if you're able to send out a text blast that just says, hey, now until December 31st, we're running this special offer, just reply yes if you're interested, right? Keeping it super short, simple. I would also be mindful of the wording. You want to make it, I would break it up into kind of paragraphs. That way it's super easy to read, even if they're skimming through it. You don't want to send like a big blob of text. Otherwise, they're going to ignore it, right? They're going to be like, they're just going to read it, gloss over it, and then just not really do anything.
Yeah, I don't think they will read it, to be honest. Americans are so lazy nowadays.
Exactly. You want to make it
How
super easy for them.
Yeah, yeah. How can I make it as easy as possible for you to work with me? What can I do to make it so easy that there's no reason why you're even thinking about going somewhere else? And
Exactly.
that's our mission. How can I make it so that no matter what, when I finish the call or when I finish this consultation, you're gonna book with me no matter what? What can I do? And it always comes down to one small thing, like, well, to be honest with you, I just wanted a rental car. I can't get around. Okay, I'll get you a rental car. I don't care.
Or an
You know,
Uber, right? So
an Uber. Yeah, like whatever we need to do, right?
think about it. That's a $2,000 plus job if you cover the Uber, right? So it's like pay $80 or maybe 150 for an Uber, depending on the distance. Get 2,000 bucks, right?
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. That's an absolute
Yeah.
no-brainer. Why wouldn't everybody do it? But it's because you don't think about it. So what you want to do is you want to take what you have, put every single thing on paper, and then when someone comes up with an objection, okay, do you need an Uber? No. Okay, do you want a rental car? No. Okay, do you want insure? Whatever the case may be, like
Yeah.
find their what they want. Okay, so you're telling me that you don't want to drive it into the shop in the winter in December because it's snowing out. Well, what happens if we pick a dry day and the minute it comes here into the shop, I'll rinse the entire undercarriage off and I'll clean the vehicle no matter what. And it won't sit in any salt, it won't sit in any snow, nothing. Okay,
Deal.
done.
Right? So I think
Like,
the thing that we're
deal.
highlighting here is you just want to see what could be standing in the way.
What can you do to serve?
Exactly. How can you help them, with being flexible, with doing business with you? You want to make it super easy. So, Aaron, you just to kind of ask or just to kind of pick your brain here,
Yeah.
something I do hear a lot is pricing, right? People are saying I'm too expensive or somebody's cheaper. During the holiday season, how would you tackle that kind of objection?
Yeah, I just say this. Okay, I understand that people are cheaper, and I understand that I'm a little on the more expensive side. But guess what? You're not at McDonald's right now. Do you like McDonald's service? No. You're guess what? You're at a high end steakhouse. If you don't want to go to a steakhouse, then you don't want to come here. If you want a steakhouse, you're coming here. It's either yay or nay. It's that simple. You either want it, you want a steakhouse, or you don't. If you want a McDonald's, that's fine, but you're not. That's what you're getting. You're gonna go get a McDonald's. And chances
Yes.
are, after you get McDonald's, you didn't get enough food. You're still hungry, so then you still go spend money somewhere else, and that's exactly what's going to happen here. You're
Yes.
still going to want it done right. You're still going to want it done better. You're not going to be happy. So then, guess what? You come here now. You spend double. Horrible, horrible, horrible money move.
Yeah,
I don't know any billionaires that spend their money twice on the same thing.
yes,
So be like them.
exactly.
That's kind of the frame of what I say.
Yeah, and so that's a good analogy there, Aaron. But like when you are explaining it to a client, you want to get them to see why it's worth paying more, right? This is where the value stacking really comes into play, right? Because you can always lean on your products, you can always lean on your reputation, the fact that you're licensed in a shop, great location, right? So you have these things that you might not be thinking of that you can use to further bolster your value, right?
Of course,
And
of
it's not
course.
necessarily price driven, right? If it was price driven, Aaron, like a lot of people would be out of business. A lot of the high end top performing shops would be out of business, right? Because they're
Oh yeah,
charging $2,500 plus for a ceramic coating, right? How are they able
easily.
to see? How are they able to get somebody to see the value in paying $2,500? Well, you're reducing a lot of the risk for their experience, right? You're ordering them an Uber, renting a car for them, using better products, giving a better service, right? So there's a lot of reasons why somebody would upgrade and pay more, but you have to communicate that. So, Aaron, what are some of the best ways or the main points that you use to communicate exactly that, right? Because I'm you're in a very competitive area, right? How do you get somebody to pay more for going with you versus somebody down the street?
Yeah, so we have two things here that are always gonna boost what we do. It's gonna be your service, your customer service, what you actually get when you come to us, and the quality of work. Okay, the quality of the actual job. Like I said, you can go to McDonald's or you can go to a steakhouse. It's just that simple. You can
And
choose one or the other.
yeah, and Aaron, one thing that I think helps your business stand out is your ability to communicate that.
Of course,
So, how
being
do you
honest with them.
communicate that?
Yeah, just being honest with them, explaining to them, listen, we're not McDonald's, okay? And I explained, if I had a guy this morning, 2000 and what was it, a 2011 Cadillac Escalade, and I said, well, why do you want to do this on a 2011? What, 13 years old? Aaron, this is my baby. Okay, so curious, can you answer this for me? Are you doing this as cheap as possible and you just want a quick buff job, or do you want a full on professional paint correction? The reason I'm curious is because we do the paint correction. We don't really do just like a quick detail buff job. And so he said, I'm spending money on this car. Like I want it to be brand new again. And I'm like, okay, I think that you'd be a good fit for us. I kind of explained to him, okay, this is kind of our quality. These are some ballpark prices. And he was fine. I was like, when can I get you in for a consult? That way I can look over the vehicle. Because, of course, it's a 2011. So there's going to be a bunch of scratches and chips and
Yeah.
his girlfriend hit something on the front bumper and all this stuff. So it's like, okay, what we need to do is we need to figure out why you're calling me in the first place, because it's not just for a price. You obviously saw something on the ad that piqued your interest. It's not like you just have money to blow. Like, okay, I'm just gonna buy this. Just give me a
Yeah, just
price,
to have, right.
Yeah, yeah, just to have it, just to have it. No, it's like, well, what exactly? Why, right? And so once you kind of get that information from them, you can almost use it against them when it comes to the sale.
What do you
And
mean by
that's kind
that?
of, yeah, if somebody only wants the highest quality and then they go, well, I'm going to shop around. I'm like, well, what are you shopping around for? Because you're clearly not shopping around for quality. You said you wanted the highest. So you use that against them. Okay, well, I'm looking for the
Nice.
for the most expensive, or I'm looking for a good deal. Well, I'm giving you a good deal. Why am I giving you a deal? A good deal because you want quality work. This is a good price for some quality work. And so that's kind of where my brain goes when it comes to sales, and also using neuro emotional persuasive questioning from Jeremy Miner is like, what can I do to make them feel as though they they need it, not that they want it, that they need it, especially in a want-based business, that they actually need PPF and
Yeah.
coatings and tint and whatever. But
Yeah, because
your
a lot of
car is probably going to die if you don't get a ceramic coating, and they know it's not
exactly.
going to.
Well, the car that they're in love with will, right? Because then you have clear coat failure, you have, um, holograms in there. So there's a lot of ways that you can get them to see what the future would look like if they don't do anything, right? Because that's why they're even clicking on the ad, right? They saw something in the ad that piqued their interest. And then I love what you said there, Aaron, about the why, because that's really what it kind of comes down to is why do you want this, right? You want a shiny car? You want it easier to wash, right? What is the main motive there? And then once you have that, now you can continue with the rest of the conversation and just highlighting things that would help them get that out.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right.
Yes.
That's what I love about about sales is figuring out what they need and what I can do to serve them, and then obviously helping them from there and actually protecting their vehicle.
Yeah. And what percentage of people, Aaron, tell you like, I just want my car to look shiny?
I don't know if I have a percentage on it. A lot of people though.
Okay. So, I mean, what I want to highlight there is that a lot of people see value in just getting the car to look like new, right? Or look better than it currently is, especially with the 2011 vehicle, right?
Right,
I
but
think
they
you
don't
said
know
it
what
was
it
black.
is. They don't know what it's called. They don't know
Exactly.
how to get it that way. Yeah. So that's where the education comes in, that service that we provide and the value.
Yes. Especially if you can communicate that, right?
If you can
And
communicate it, you're golden.
and Aaron, I don't know if you're doing this, or I'm sure you did this through a lot of trial and error, but like you're trying to find out that why, you're building value on it, and then you're giving them a good deal. That's kind of what it
Yeah.
boils down to, right?
Yeah, and the good deal is my retail pricing almost every time. The good deal is that they feel as though it was a good deal. They feel as though they're getting a good deal. Well, if you feel like you're getting a good deal, then you're getting a good deal. It's all
Yes.
about emotion. It's literally all about emotion. What can we do to make it as emotional of an experience as possible?
Yes. Real quick, Aaron, just to wrap up here, let's say somebody went through all the steps that we outlined, right? They sat
Yes.
down, they said, okay, I'm going to offer $200 off my coding packages. They write out a text blast, they send it to their customers, they get a lot of interest. But what if they hear an objection where somebody's like, well, it's wintertime, it's snowing outside, I'll just wait until springtime? How could we shorten that timeline of somebody getting it done in December versus in spring or summertime?
Yeah, that's a great question. So shortening a timeline is a very big objection that I get, that I help a lot of people when I coach. And the biggest thing that I ask them is it something that you want to get done, or is it something that you're inquiring about getting done? If you're inquiring, then maybe now is not necessarily the time, but we're booked out anyways. If now is the time, then you actually want it done, then we're not waiting for the winter to be over. There's a few benefits of working with us in the winter. You're going to get a little bit better of a price depending on how many packages you get, because we are a little bit slower. But it's not that, hey, just everybody come in the wintertime, because that's horrible business.
Right.
The second thing is going to be, we're not as busy, and your vehicle's not going to take 2 to sometimes 3 weeks to get done, just depending on how many services. So that's an update as well. And the other thing when it comes to shortening the timeline is like, hey, if we need to get this done in December, or we need to get this done in November, December, like, this is 2024 pricing. If you don't
Yes.
get this done, you're going to 2025 pricing, man. And that is the upsetting part. So how do we
Yes.
flip the script, because you can't necessarily get everybody in December, especially on the 31st? It's like,
Right.
so how? Okay, how? Well, what we can do is we can take a deposit. What it's going to do, you don't want to use the word lock in. That's going to create sales resistance. You want to disarm them. You want to disarm your prospect. What we can do is we can hold the price for you with a small deposit today of $300, $400, whatever. And what that will do is that will allow you to get 2024 pricing, but the deposit never expires, and you can get this exact pricing anytime down the line. We can book a tentative spot for March, April, May, whatever the case may be, but ultimately we don't have to get it done until you're ready and you held the price in. It gives them a little bit of commitment. It also locks in the deal for you, and ultimately they're going to go at some point. I had a client I did that to back in March of 2023, so about a year, or no, 2020. Yeah, it was like a year and a half ago. He got $3,000 discount with our current pricing.
Wow.
He got a 50% off discount. We're losing money on him, but I said I'm okay to lose money. Why am I okay to lose money, Sal?
Because you told them the price. You told them that this is the deal. Are you using the same
This is
product? Just out of curiosity.
no. We actually upgraded it because we don't use the same
Wow.
product as a year and a
So
half ago. So
he's getting a better product, a great price. I don't know. Why would you do that?
loyalty, baby.
I love it.
It's a mutual loyalty and respect. If I'm loyal to them, they're going to be loyal right back. He started at 2,000,
Yeah.
2,200. By the time he
And I
left
think,
here, after he
yeah, go ahead. I think you cut out there a little bit.
No, it's all good. So he started at $2,200 in March of 2023. And when he left my shop after he rebooked it, because we had to pick a new date and go over the car again, because, his pricing's locked in, but I got to make sure I know what I'm doing here. Because if he brings me a half bent
Right.
up car, like, we can't work on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
He left at
Yes.
$3,000, 2,965 or 2,995. And today he just added on $1,000 of work, and he's adding on more work also. So I believe in karma personally, but I took care of him because we're 50% down and now we're going to basically break even. I'll break even all day long if that means that it's a client from 2.5, 3 years ago, whatever, year and a half even. I don't care. I'm loyalty. He's so loyal. He put down like $300. He's like, Aaron, I'm ready to go now. Like he got his whole front end repainted, like the whole thing.
Wow. And
Yeah,
it kind of goes back to what you said earlier in this conversation where, that loyalty pays off, right? With goodwill, right? Either a positive Google review, referrals, right? Just spreading the good word about your business. That in itself is worth breaking even on that job. So, I mean, Aaron, just to recap here from the very start, right? You have your special offer, you blast it out, or you advertise it. The pro move is to do both, right? Or you're sending it out to your client list or your lead list. And Aaron, do you only send out that text blast to just ceramic coating jobs or everybody in your list?
everybody in the list.
Everybody.
Get
So
as
if it
many
was a
people.
detail, window tint,
Yeah, take a window tint job and sell them a ceramic coating. I don't care.
yeah, because a lot of people think that those kind of markets are super segmented, right? Like somebody who gets a detail will never get a ceramic coating,
Yeah, people think
but
it's
that's not what we
segmented, but
see.
it's not.
It's
No, it's
not.
not what we
No.
see. No, I had a client the
Yeah.
other day come in for an interior detail, and she got full PPF on the front end. She
Jesus.
just wanted interior details. It's because she didn't know that PPF even existed. Wish she knew that when she first got the car, because there wouldn't have been so many swirls and scratches and rock chips and
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah,
And I think,
it's all about cross selling. It's all about being confident, being a go getter.
yeah. And not just kind of, here's your price, goodbye. Like,
Yeah,
that's the worst
exactly.
thing that you could do as a business owner. You should not, that shouldn't even be in your vocabulary. You should find out their
Build the
why,
value.
build
Yep.
the
Find their
value,
why, build the value, and then,
be
of
flexible
course,
with pricing.
yeah, and continue to rock on and make them sales, baby.
Make those sales. It is December last 2024 push, right, guys? We had a lot of clients that had success with their Black Friday deals. Now we're shifting over to holiday specials. So happy to report that, or I'll be excited to report what the results of the holiday special look like in January. So
Oh, yeah.
we'll keep you
Black
guys
Friday
updated.
specials were great,
Black
but they
Friday
went
was amazing.
incredible.
Man,
Yeah.
if I remember, I'll ask our video editors to put the text blast wording that we use for Black Friday to kind of get inspiration for the holiday special. Um, we have like I think 3 or 5 different options to choose from. Take similar wording, blast it out to your list, and make it rain. Make it rain in
Make it
December.
rain.
All right, Aaron, I want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you guys for watching. Super excited
Yes.
to talk
Thanks for
about
having
holiday
me, Sal.
specials. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Peace.
Peace.